It's Monday, January 8th, 2024, and this is episode 299 of You Can Bet On That. Hi, everybody. Welcome to You Can Bet On That, a podcast for the recreational gambler. I'm Mark Duvall.
And I'm Dr. Mike.
Happy New Year, Dr. Mike. Everything going well for you?
Yeah, pretty good. Happy New Year to you and everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so far, this new year has gone well, I think.
Any gambling since our last show?
No,
Yeah.
Unfortunately not. I do have a couple of funny things that have happened to me.
All right. Are they gambling related?
No, they are not.
All right. Well, that's fine. Let's hear them. Let's hear.
Well, the most recent one, for the last week, when I come home, I park my car outside because the other cars are in the garage.
Mm-hmm.
And I get out, I walk over to the side door of the garage to let myself in.
Mm-hmm.
And every night I noticed as I was walking over there, this bird flying away from the house.
Okay.
So last night when I got home from basketball game, it's dark already and late. And I get out of my car and I'm walking towards that door, no bird or anything.
Okay.
And as I'm putting the key into the door, I'm turning it and it kind of rattles.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife had hung a wreath on the door for Christmas, right?
Right.
So as I rattle it, I guess the bird, who I thought was in our eaves or something, has been nesting in that wreath. And he must have been a little sleepy because he was slow to react. And so when I rattled it, he flies out of the wreath straight into my head. Because my head is 4 inches from the wreath.
Right. Now, it wasn't your face, hopefully. It was.
Yes, it was my face.
Oh, it was your face. You should have said face then, my friend, because when you get hit in the head, you think, the back of your head or so. Okay, right into your face. Excellent.
Right into my face.
Okay.
So I'm a little stunned at first. And then I realized it was the bird. I hear the wings flapping as it fell down to the ground, kind of stunned, and then got up and flew away. No injuries or anything.
Okay, so picture. Lynn didn't take a picture of your face or something to send everybody.
No.
All right.
But the first thing I'm thinking is, I wonder if I have a imprint of a bird on my face.
Sure, like a cartoon, just boom.
And number two is, oh my God, a bird just smushed into my face. Kind of hit me on the cheek below my left eye. And I walk in the house and they're like, what happened to you? A bird flew in me in the face.
Oh.
What makes it even more funny is a couple of weeks before that, I got up in the morning to take the trash out because our trash pickup guy, they always come early. They come at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
So I get up and it was really, really windy. And as I was pushing the trash from the garage to the curb, and we have a massively long driveway, a gust of wind comes up, picks up the lid and flips it up and slams it into my face.
Yeah.
And broke my glasses.
Oh, gosh.
It hit so hard. Broke the plastic frame. Not the
glass, but
not
just
the glass
frame,
part, but the frame. So for 2 days, I didn't have glasses, and I had to go in and they quickly ordered a frame and then replaced it, which was really good because it was only 2 days. So, but I've been getting hit in the face a lot.
Yeah,
lately,
it sounds
Mark.
like a football helmet might be in order at this point.
Right. So the next time you see a guy wearing a football helmet in a casino, it's probably me.
Yeah. I don't know. The dice are going to find their way through the holes in the helmet, though, and get you in the face. That'll be the next thing.
It's like God slapping me in the face and saying, wake up. It's wind and then it's a bird. What next? It's not a human. It's nature pounding me in the face, Mark.
All right. Well, I'm glad you're safe, Dr. Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So until I feel perfectly comfortable outside of this room, I probably won't be at a casino.
All right. Well, be careful of the microphone. I'd hate for you to, kind of bump your head and the microphone hit you in the face.
Right.
All right. Well, let's move on with the show. Well, we got an email from listener Bert, and we're going to hear a voicemail from him later in the show. But he's going to Vegas here soon. And he said, in preparation for my trip, I need your help. I don't need Mark's level-headed and calculated approach to the game. What I need is a pep talk from Dr. Mike as I plan my return to Fun City. Get me and others like me ready for a triumphant return to the craps table, Dr. Mike. We are counting on you. We already accept the risk of the game and the negative EV. We want to play, but need the master of the come-out roll to get us ready to roll. Don't let us down. So I guess he didn't want, advice like, well, watch your bankroll and maybe just stick to a pass line with single odds and maybe bet the 6.
Yeah, he didn't want to hear, first thing when you get there, go straight up to your room and go to bed. He did not want to hear that.
He wanted to hear from Dr. Mike. So, Dr. Mike, you emailed him back with 10 items. Your pep talk was your formula for a Vegas trip, and there were 10 items. So let's go through these items of advice that you gave to Bert. And I'll just read them off, and then you can embellish them and comment on them as we go through them.
I should have put on don't go straight to bed. That's what I should have started with, but I didn't.
All right. So number 0 then, don't go straight to bed. Which I did the last time I went to Vegas. I went straight to bed. So, all right, here we go. Number 1. Always remember, this is what we do. It lowers the guilt. Now, it's interesting that you added that last part because you could have just said, but you said it lowers the guilt.
Lowers the guilt. Yeah. Well, when you've lost all your bankroll and you're thinking about how much I could have done with this money, or why did I put my life in jeopardy with this? You just, this is what we do. I mean, you have no choice.
All right, we're off to a great start.
What you do.
Good advice from Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike's views do not necessarily reflect my views.
Right. Yeah, or anyone else's really in the world.
All right. Number 2, do what it takes to get fired up before taking the casinos for all they got. Example, listen to Kick-Ass Rock. All right, well, I'm with you on that one, Dr. Mike.
You have to do whatever gets you fired up.
Yeah, what kind of kiss-ass rock are we talking about here?
Kick-ass, Mark.
Yeah, I
know. Kiss-ass.
Yeah, what kind of kiss-ass rock? Kiss. What kind of kick-ass rock are we talking about here, Dr. Mike?
We're talking about, for me, it'd be like putting some Blue Oyster Cult on.
Oh, like Don't Fear the Reaper?
Don't Fear the Reaper,
right?
Yeah. And just, go for it.
Yellow AC/DC, maybe?
Yellow AC/DC.
Something like that, yeah.
Right.
That's some
or some Karen Carpenter. Whatever floats your boat.
That's right, yeah. Superstar by Karen Carpenter. You'll just be bawling by the time you get to Las Vegas. All right, number 3. Approach the table with no fear, no regrets, and no negative thoughts. All right, well, actually, that's pretty good too, Dr. Mike.
Yeah, that's good advice, right? You can't go in there thinking, I'm going to lose, or, oh my God, why am I doing this? You have to go in there with the idea that you're going to take them for all they got.
Okay. Number 4, prepare yourself to do whatever it takes to win, no matter how ridiculous it may seem. Even if that means standing for long periods of time with a cup of hot chocolate on your head, or drinking and eating enough to cover your losses.
It's my 2 favorite ways to get back at the casino.
I've seen you do both of those. Actually, I've definitely seen the hot chocolate. I don't know that I've seen you eat enough food to cover some of the losses that I've seen you.
But I put a valiant effort into it.
You tried. Yeah, you definitely tried. Number 5. Push the house at all times. Gambling, drinks, food, comps, etc. Well, there's another one I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah. You got to get all you can out of them, so you push them a little bit.
How about a discretionary comp to the buffet? How much does that cost you?
Yeah, and every shift, keep asking them, can we get 1 mulligan an hour on this table? One just like free roll? I've been pushing that for years.
That's great. Oh, the next roll's a free one? All right. Yep. I'm emptying my bank account.
Right. Color me up.
All right, number 6. Don't hesitate to quietly point out all the odd, crazy, annoying people to your friends at the table, and especially any don't players. All right, so you want to call attention to that. Yep. How vocal do you want to be? You said quietly here.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be loud enough so your friends can hear it.
Yeah.
And loud enough so maybe the 2 or 3 people next to you, around you can hear it, and the dealer but not loud enough that the goofy guy at the other end.
All right. So, all right, let's send this don't bozo home.
Right,
something like
exactly.
that, right?
Yeah, let's send this guy packing.
Yeah.
Aim for her big, whatevers. Stuff like that.
Okay, got
it. Part of the fun of Vegas is watching all the other people.
Oh, yeah, especially Vegas compared to other gambling destinations.
Oh, yeah. You go to a local casino, you know people, or you just know normal every day. You go to Vegas, you see a lot of great stuff.
Oh, yeah. And, this last time, I went to the extremes, right? I was at the Orleans initially, then went over to Wynn Encore. So I saw quite the gamut of different kinds of people. Yeah, it was great people watching.
Yeah. All you had to do was head downtown to Glitter Gulch and you'd have the trifecta mark.
Yeah, you'd be great. Now, Glitter Gulch is gone, Dr. Mike. Circus.
I know.
All right.
But in order to honor it.
Okay. All right. Number 7. Don't be shy about pressing. When you're up, be aggressive. And when you're down, be halfway aggressive. In order to win big, you must think big. Remember number 1.
Right.
All right. Be aggressive at all times.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe just a little less aggressive when you're down a lot, but still pretty aggressive.
All right.
And just keep remembering that it's what you do.
All right. It's what you do. Number 8, most importantly, always be having fun. When fun and joy leave the table, move on. Make the next table you go to be fun. Oh, I agree with you there, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, you can't hang around some crappy situation.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to move.
Yeah, and especially in Vegas when you have a lot of other options. Yeah,
Exactly.
I wholeheartedly agree with that. Number 9, you may need to adjust your play as necessary, but never give in. That's why they invented ATMs.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Again,
I mean,
Dr. Mike's opinion.
A machine that gives you money.
Yeah.
I mean, can you think of a better invention in the history of mankind?
Well,
Mark?
let's just be clear here. It's a machine that gives you your money. If it was just a machine that gave money, okay, yeah. But this is a machine that gives you your money.
Is it really your money when you're in Vegas?
I can't condone this. I'm not going to participate to number 9 here. All right. And finally, number 10, most of all, follow your intuition. Go with your gut and come home happy, either way, up or down. So I kind of agree with you there. I like to be a little more
planned out. It's like, I don't think about overnight keno until I'm heading up to the room overnight.
Okay, I see.
You've planned that out already in advance.
Yeah.
Maybe even bought your ticket.
Yeah.
So
I'm a little hung up on those kinds of things, and you're a little more laid back. You're saying have fun as opposed to just be really calculating and that kind of thing. All right.
Yep. Some of the students, when they have study hall mark, they play cards.
Okay.
At first, they were all playing euchre and games like that are around here, and now I've got most of them playing poker during the day. One kid was talking about something, and I turned to the whole class, and I said, "See, this is the kind of guy who you're going to find at 3:30 a.m. sitting at a video poker machine with his hand on the button, but completely passed out. Drool running down the side of his face, so he's got this big, huge wet mark on his T-shirt. His head is tilted to the side, and below him are an array of drink glasses lined up."
All right. Make sure you bring that up at his parent-teacher conference.
Yeah. Oh, they thought that was... Have you seen that? Yes. Plenty of times.
They're playing poker in study hall. What are they risking? Nothing, I hope.
Oh, no, nothing. No. Okay. I brought some chips in. It's just bragging rights. Yeah, there's no money in this. Now, there is a house fee.
Okay. Yeah, there is a rake.
Yeah, there's a rake. Of course. No, they're just having fun. And when I explained to them Omaha last Thursday, they all said, "This is too much for my brain."
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's why it's all old men at the table.
Well, there you go, Bert. So again, good luck on your trip. and we're going to hear a voicemail from him very soon. Now, on an old episode, we talked about a gambling game called the Pig Wheel, which they have in some bars in North Dakota to raise money for charity. It's a charity game.
Right.
It's kind of like roulette, but instead of zeros on the wheel, there are 5 pigs that you can bet on, in addition to the numbers 1 through 40. And the layout is kind of like a roulette layout, but it's a big spinning wheel, kind of like a big 6 wheel.
Right.
And my listener Josh wrote in wondering about a comment you made in a previous episode about the pig wheel. I'm trying to remember what that was. Let me think.
I wanted to point out that when Dr. Mike makes his inevitable trip to Minnesota, that he's more than welcome to come across the border to North Dakota, where he could then take advantage of our pig wheel, and he can place his bets on either the boy pigs, Joe and Bob, or the pink girl pigs, Sue and Roxy, or the white pig Ken.
Yeah, you going to do that then, at least?
Yeah, it's funny because every time we are in Minnesota, we talk about going to North Dakota. Let's go into the Dakotas because, everyone tells me how beautiful it is and stuff. Mm-hmm. So one of these days we are going to do that, and I am going to play Pig Wheel, and I am going to go to the casinos there.
Yeah. Now, Mike, you had actually said this before you moved to Minnesota. You were talking about when you go out there to visit your mother-in-law for a week, you might go over there.
Right.
So you've actually lived in Minnesota for well over a year. How many times have you been over to North Dakota then to play the old pig wheel?
Well, I've been to South Dakota quite a bit.
All right, that wasn't my question.
0 times have I gone to North Dakota to play the pig wheel. Well, Mark, to be honest, I'm still studying the rules.
Okay.
And evaluating, what's the best strategy for pig wheel.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that. It's for charity.
Oh, that's right. I got to come up with another excuse now. Apathy? Will that count?
All right. Well, I'll tell you, it's the honesty that I like.
Yeah. That's the real honest answer. I still want to go up there. And maybe this summer when the weather's, cleared up.
Maybe. All right. See, when you said that originally, I'm thinking there's no way he would make that trip in the middle of a week-long vacation. But now, you don't really have that excuse. So, I'd like
Well, Mark, could you say that you've been on every road in the county that you live in?
No, of course not. The San Diego County is one of the biggest counties in the country.
I can.
Okay. See, that's why, right?
We did all of our county, Houston County, and we've done all of Fillmore County, one of the counties next door. And this summer, we're going to do a couple more counties. So that's probably the time I say, hey, let's do a county in North Dakota.
All right. Well, we're all going to remember this, Dr. Mike, and we're going to hold you to it.
Okay. All right. Why do people feel compelled to hold me to everything I say?
It's been 50% of my friendship with you is holding you to things that you said.
Haven't you realized yet?
I used to have a page. We've got a web page for our poker home game. I mean, who doesn't? Number one.
Right.
I used to have a page devoted exclusively to things that you claimed. And I would keep track of how many things were ultimately true or not. And most of them weren't. I'd give you credit when it really was.
Yeah.
But, it was Mike's crazy claims. I had this little animated picture of you on there. And so,
what's funny, and the reason I'm laughing is everyone who does have a web page for their poker home game does have a silly Mike's claims page.
Of course they do. And they've got the players' pictures on the chips.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Did you ever think maybe you've got a little too much time in your life?
Hey, thanks to everyone who's been clicking through our Amazon link. Remember, whenever you're going to buy something through Amazon, please go to our page first. You can bet on that.com and click for our Amazon link towards the top of the page. All right, it's voicemail time. First up is Michael.
Hey, what's up, Mark and Dr. Mike? This is Michael from Orlando. Just listened to the recent episode, and thanks for the shout-out. Yeah, we do have craps and roulette here in Florida now, along with sports betting. Made it down to the Hard Rock down in Hollywood, Florida, the Guitar Hotel, what everybody's up in arms about, coming to the Strip. It's really awesome, actually. I'm pretty excited about it. Granted, I don't really have a lot of nostalgic feelings towards the volcano as maybe some people do. But yeah, it was great. The dealers are still somewhat new. Croups was still slow on a couple of tables that I was on getting paid out. But you know what? It's great. Glad it's here. And then I just wanted to comment quickly. Mark, I think you mentioned in-person betting, but there is an app. You can bet anywhere in Florida with the Hard Rock crew as long as you're using the Hard Rock Bet app. It's very convenient, as I used to be an offshore guy, and now I have it here in the state. So, well, yeah, you guys have a Merry Christmas, and we'll talk soon. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Yeah, great. Thanks, Michael. And yes, so this app will work anywhere in the state. I think there are still some legal battles around that. But for now, yeah, if you've got the Seminole Tribe's Hard Rock sports app, you can bet on sports wherever you are in Florida.
Isn't that interesting within the states? So if you live just outside the state line, right, in a bordering state, you have to drive across the state line to use it?
Yeah, and that's common in a lot of states, that are next to ones that have sports betting. If your state doesn't, you can drive over. Sometimes you have to drive a little bit of ways in so that the app really knows that you're in the state. But yeah.
It's funny because it just reminds me so much of the place outside of Vegas to buy California lottery tickets.
Oh, I know. Those huge lines that people...
Yeah, when the lottery's big, people driving the 40 minutes from Vegas to get their lottery ticket.
Oh, yeah. I've driven past it when, the line is just, it's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Isn't that funny? It just seems so ironic in a state where gambling is such a big part of the economy and the culture that they need to get over to a lottery where, there's a terrible house edge, like 50%. Sure, the jackpots are huge, but, you're not going to win.
Wow. You go up to the bar, Mark, every video poker game is taken. What are you going to do?
Yeah, you got to drive out to California state line.
Out to California and buy a lottery ticket.
All right, next call.
Hi, Mark and Dr. Mike. This is James from Pennsylvania calling. I've never called in before. I'm a big fan of Craft Vegas podcast and now have migrated over to yours as well because you can never get enough gambling content. I like your discussion about a royal flush in video poker, and I wanted to tell you my story. Yes, I have gotten a royal flush in video poker. However, it was not playing too high of a denomination. So here in Pennsylvania, we do have gambling on our cell phones for casino. So not just sports betting, but also casino. And I am a FanDuel player, but only for the daily free play. So every day on FanDuel, you can go in and do a small slot machine. And sometimes you'll win 10 cents, sometimes you win 25 cents. And then you can go in and play that money in free play. So a couple of months ago, I go in every day to try and win a little bit and ended up getting 30 cents. And I go over to video poker, just playing bonus poker at 10 cents a spin. And what do you know? I got 3 out of 4 of the clubs, held them, and ended up with a royal flush at 10 cents, which won me $80. So I need you to debate now, does that count as a royal flush? Because technically, I got it. And technically, I was wagering something, but it was only 10 cents. So I wasted my probably one royal flush in my lifetime on a 10-cent wager. Love the content. Keep it up. Hopefully we'll see you sometime in Vegas.
Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, that counts because you were risking something. I'd say even if you're risking free play or you're risking money that you got from free play, as long as you're risking something, it doesn't even have to be in a real casino, it could be online. This just makes it easy. It counts. What do you think, Dr. Mike?
I agree. As long as it, is not some game on your phone where you get a royal flush.
No, you have to be risking.
That's right. You have to be risking at least something.
But, since it was 10 cents, whether you can hold your head up while you're telling people this story, that's another thing. Not so sure.
Yeah. Whether you want to repeat that in public to people who might judge you more harshly, like those guys over at Crap Vegas.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear from our friend Kelly.
Hey guys, this is Kelly in Utah, and I was just calling to wish you guys a happy new year and say thanks for the podcast and let you know that Kevin and I, my husband, are heading to Green Valley for New Year's Eve there in Vegas. We met 15 years ago on New Year's Eve, and we actually met at that one place in Mesquite where Dr. Mike went a few years ago. I think he went to the Eureka, in Mesquite, Nevada. And I met Kevin there at a roulette table. And so I just did leave you a $15 karma donation to mark the occasion. And hopefully that'll pay off at the roulette table when we go to Green Valley, maybe some good karma. Somebody called in talking about Las Vegas and the Super Bowl on a previous episode. And I just wanted to mention that I have been to Vegas on Super Bowl weekend. The most recent time was actually in 2023, so it was just a few months ago. The Cosmopolitan threw a viewing party there in one of their big conference rooms, and they had fantastic food. It was really done right. It was really fun, and I was a little skeptical because I like watching the game and I like being able to hear what's going on, and I thought everybody would be talking and you wouldn't be able to hear. But the sound and the video quality was so good. You could hear everything and you could see the game from wherever you were standing in the room. So from personal experience, I could recommend that. If you have a chance to go to one of those watch parties, then at least the Cosmopolitan really does it up right, and I'm sure the other places do too. It was crazy. The crowds were some of the biggest I've ever seen in Vegas, but it's mostly just the day of the game. It's crowded before and after, but no more than any other busy weekend in Vegas, but the day of the game is nuts. And then the last thing I wanted to say is an advance congratulations to you on what will soon be your 300th episode. I will be listening, and I hope you guys have a wonderful new year. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, Kelly. It sounds to me like Kelly's husband, Kevin, won the highest jackpot ever on a roulette table.
Meeting your spouse on a roulette table. Yeah, that's something else.
Yeah. And, it's Kelly. She likes gambling. So I think he hit the jackpot.
I agree. Well, congratulations and thank you for that donation. Yeah, that's good advice if you want to watch the game. You're not interested in gambling at the tables. You want to actually watch the Super Bowl with few distractions, maybe some free food, open bar. Yeah, these watch parties that the casinos put on are a good idea. Now, Kelly was saying that the Cosmo was great because she could see and hear everything. Who knows if that's the case with some of the other watch parties, might be kind of rowdy or loud or what have you. But some good advice. Yeah,
the most important thing, Mark, I think for me would be being able to watch the game and follow what they're saying.
Yeah.
And then it'd be great to have a table there to play.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? I agree. That's what I would want too, but I would be distracted by the table. We don't need to beat a dead horse here. The Super Bowl in Vegas is just not for us. Too many distractions.
Yeah. I stopped going to friends' parties and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that really bugs me when they're, talking real loud and everything. Yeah. And you're trying to figure out what happened. Because sometimes something happens and you're like, wait a minute, what happened? You can't hear what they're saying.
Right. So. And then they rewind a commercial and then you're not watching live anymore.
Right. And you're like, did they score again?
You're hearing cheers from the rest of the neighborhood. What happened?
Right.
All right. As promised, here's Bert.
Hey, Mark, Dr. Mike, this is Bert from Virginia with a trip report from a pre-Christmas trip to Atlantic City. My wife and I decided since Christmas was on a Monday, I'd gotten a few offers for some comp rooms. We decided Friday to head up to Atlantic City for the weekend. We stayed at Hard Rock, which is a property I've always wanted to stay at, and I'm glad I did. It's a really cool property. Nice. I love the memorabilia. The energy in that place is amazing. They have the live music in the lobby bar pretty much every day. Didn't like the fact that on Fridays and Saturdays, their lobby bar does not give comps for video poker at the lobby bar, which kind of sucks. But I mean, what can you do? That's just policy, I guess. I don't know. But they had 3 or 4 craps tables running pretty much the whole weekend. They were $15 minimum up to $25. Hit a bad run on a $15 table and kind of got scared away. We have a trip planned in January to Vegas, so I didn't want to blow too much money, so I decided to switch over and just play video poker. And you know what happened. Hit a royal on a nickel. I've been playing quarter 50 cents pretty much most of the trip. Decided bankroll was getting a little tight. Let me drop down to a nickel on triple play and see what I could do. And I hit a royal. And on a nickel, that only paid $200, 4,000 credits, $200, which kind of sucked. But it's my second Royal on a nickel. I need to stop dropping down to a nickel and just keep it at a quarter. But what do? Decided to walk over to Ocean and check that place out. Love the property. Amazing casino. Really nice property. I'm hoping to stay there on my next trip up to Atlantic City. Back to video poker. This time I was playing, I think, dimes. Hit 4 aces with the kicker on the dimes machine, which, that's 2,000 credits, but at a dime, that's $200. So with a 4,000 credit Royal, a 2,000 credit 4 aces, what would have been, even at my 50-cent minimum, which would have been $3,000, end up being, a few $100s. But what do? I mean, you kind of have to roll with the bankroll. I know Dr. Mike hates that because he doesn't really drop back. He kind of goes hard all the way, which I am seriously impressed by. Thanks, guys. I appreciate what you do, and I will let you know how the Vegas run goes. That trip is January 13th, so I will give you a trip report either from the spot or when I get back. Take care, and I hope you guys had a great holiday.
Well, again, Bert, good luck on that trip coming up. I think, what I would say is, hey, if you had stayed at a quarter and not dropped down to a nickel,
right, you probably wouldn't have hit
the Royal. But I think your advice, Dr. Mike, number 11 is stop dropping down to a nickel. Is that what you're...
Yeah. Beat that horse until it's dead, Bert. And a quarter all you can. Well, Bert is a reasonable gambler, Mark.
Oh, okay. What does that mean?
So
reasonable.
Well, he got
oxymoron.
Yeah, I guess that is an oxymoron. But he got low on funds, so he wanted to stay and do his thing, have some fun. So he lowered down, and there's nothing wrong with that.
That's my advice anyway.
Yeah. I'm praying so hard that Bert hits it big.
Yeah.
Him and his wife both hit some huge jackpot. I'd be so happy if he got really low because of my advice and then went and threw $1 in one of those progressive slot machines and hit some $1 million payout or something.
All right.
That'd be a good story.
That'd be a good story. So, Bert, we hope either you win or you lose all your money and get it back with a huge slot jackpot.
Either way, you come home happy.
Yeah. All right. Hey, let's hear from Ian.
Mark, Dr. Mike. It's Ian Dunk from Leicester. I'm sorry to call in again so soon after my last Australian calls, but this is about Le Croupier's Casino. A gentleman called into your show a few months ago, and I think you've subsequently had another email. The Croups, as it's known. Well, it's in Wales, which is a neighbouring country to England, and I knew exactly the place it was because it's right next to the Cardiff City soccer stadium. And the question asked was whether the craps table was still open. So being a Leicester City supporter, we played Cardiff City last Friday night, and I drove across the border there, and just to keep the betting analogy going, Leicester City were the team that were the 5,000 to 1 outsiders to win the Premier League, and we did, although things have gone a bit wrong since then, but never mind. So I went to Cardiff last Friday night, and before the game I went into the casino just to see exactly what was going on with the craps table. It's a good vibe in there. It was absolutely rammed, full of soccer fans ready for the game. And if you imagine it, it's a bit like the Cromwell in Las Vegas. It's quite a narrow casino that goes all the way down to the end there. And at the end of the room was sitting this glorious craps table. I mean, it really was solid oak. We don't play craps here in England and United Kingdom, sorry, and I wish we did. And the heart was pumping. I could just imagine being there playing. And there it was, sitting all on its own. The Croups was stamped on it, so there's the name. There was no big 6 or 8, but there was the same layout as you get in the United States, although the half payouts were there, the 7.5 to 1, 9.5 to 1. Now, the felt was quite faded, so I thought, this has really had a fair bit of use. So I managed to find the manager there of the casino, and I asked him about it. He said it hasn't been used for some 7 years now. He was quite sad about it, but he says it's now just furniture, unfortunately. I mean, a craps table being furniture. They can't get rid of it. He said it's just there. I cheekily asked him if it was for sale and offered him £1,000, which he politely declined. and to be honest, I'm probably glad he did, because imagine getting home after the match in the early hours the next morning and, hi, honey, I'm home. Leicester won 2-0 and I bought a craps table. But I didn't. It is for sale. So if anybody wants to go and put an offer in to the Croups, That table looks wonderful, but unfortunately, it's another sign of the no crap zone here in the United Kingdom. So all the best to both of you. All the best to everybody who listens in. We love your show, and a Happy New Year. Bye-bye.
Right. Happy New Year, Ian.
Thanks, Ian.
Hey, first,
Happy
Ian,
New Year.
never apologize for calling into the show, okay?
Right.
Just because you called in recently with a report to Australia, we love getting your calls. So
yeah, I do love getting Ian's calls. Mark, can you imagine that? It's like the Cromwell, kind of narrow, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Goes all the way this long, almost like extended hallway kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you get to the end, and there's this majestic oak craps table. There's probably like a glow around it, right?
Yeah.
Like a soft blue hazy glow around it.
Uh-huh.
He's seen heaven.
Yeah, but there were no dealers. He couldn't buy in.
Yeah, he couldn't get his way in.
It's the Twilight Zone episode where you think you're in heaven. And then when you realize what's going in, you thought this was heaven, Ian? All right. Well, folks, if you're in the market for a great looking table, head up to the Croups.
Oh, I can just see him. He's tied it to his car on the roof, right? And he heads home. Wife gets up in the morning. What in the hell? I had to buy it.
Sorry, I didn't check with you first.
Yeah, we'll find room. Then he'll end up with a craps table in his front window leaning out to the street, a la Todd, which is the greatest thing ever.
That's fantastic. Especially when you go over there and you're playing, right? People can see
People
from the street,
walking
hey,
by.
look.
What are those guys doing? They're all standing they're forming a rectangle. What's going on?
All right, next call.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year. This is Trace from Biloxi calling about our trip on the brand new, beautiful Celebrity Ascent. It was a holiday cruise from Christmas to New Year's. Would like to start with the bad. There was one table. It was a $25 minimum with 2 times odds. If you bumped up your frontline wager to $50, they went to 3, 4, and 5. More bad, it was $100 to buy the 4 and 10, and you had to pay the VIG up front. The comps were minimal. No roll was called if both die did not hit the back wall. The good, which far outweighed the bad, there was an excellent crew. It was by far the best we have ever had on the cruise and on par with any of the best Vegas crews. And they were very appreciative of tips. More good news, it was the same 5 to 8 players for the most part every single night. We all got to know each other and had a good time. That was a lot of fun. Of course, there was no dark side players at all, not one. Didn't see one the whole week. The table was good most nights. In fact, 6 out of 7 evening sessions were winners for most of us. And the best part was on the last night, we had a very hot table right before we sailed back from international water. So they told us 15 minutes was going to close. That, 2 minutes till there'll be a last roller. Well, the last roller kept rolling. So in essence, forced us to take some of our profits down when the tables closed on that last night. Again, have a happy new year. Really enjoyed the Celebrity Ascent as a boat and the crew especially. Thanks, guys.
All right, there you go. So the rules
sounds like a great trip.
Not so good, but if you've got a great crew and the players, are fun to play with, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, I guess maybe these cruise ships are worried about, it's a short-term thing, right? It's not even open all day or night, so maybe they're worried about getting hit real big for a big loss, right?
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just thinking, why would they want to lose money? Why would you want to have a 4 and 10? You have to bet 100. Why wouldn't it be just a quarter like everything else?
So that's why they have rules like this. I mean,
maybe they're just so paranoid about losing big on a short run, right?
Well, okay, I don't know that short run has anything to do with it because even a cruise line casino is playing for the long run. Now, I'm not completely disagreeing with you. They're the only game in town when you're stuck in the middle of the ocean. So It's not like they have to have the best rules.
Yeah, that's true too. You have nowhere to go if you want to play craps.
Yeah.
But if they have the table open, they do want people on it, right?
Of course.
I mean, they don't want to drive them away to some slot machine. Although I wonder what the other game's limits were.
Yeah, see, I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. The casino might prefer that you play the slots.
Right, that's true.
So, no, I think you're thinking about this too hard, Mike.
Okay. Putting too much effort into it?
Yeah, you're putting way too much effort into it.
I need a little more apathy when it comes
way
to
more apathy.
Cruise ships.
That's your problem in life. You just need more apathy.
I just haven't been enough apathetic.
Yeah. All right, last call.
Hey, Mark and Dr. Mike. Hope you two had a great holiday. It's Brandon out here in Salt Lake City. I apologize for my voice. I'm a little bit under the weather here this morning. Mark, you mentioned a show or two ago you weren't getting a lot of trip reports, so I'll pass along two different ones from the holiday season, both of which come from Vegas. Our first one, we were there in mid-December for a Golden Knights game, and both my wife and I did some gambling as well. Of note on that trip was I decided to play some craps at New York before the game. We were meeting friends, but decided anyway, play some craps. $25 table I bought in for $1,500, and the shooter was boiling hot. He made about 5 or 6 points, kept hitting the middle numbers. After about 45 minutes, he finally sevened out. After tipping the dealers, I ran away with $2,700, so $1,200 profit. The interesting thing on that is he never hit the all tall small. He missed both the 2 and the 12, so that was a good session. The second one was over Christmas. I was there for work. Decided to play at MGM on Christmas Eve. I was the shooter rolling for at least 20 minutes. There was a shift change, and the pit boss at one point remarked to me, "Brandon, what are you doing?" I was confused and asked what she meant, and she said I had been rolling for a while. Sure enough, next roll, 7. I wasn't thrilled that she squished my momentum, but I still left the table up over $500 in 20 minutes. Anyway, I hope you two had a great holiday. Dr. Mike, I know there wasn't snow in Minnesota, but I'm sure that's going to change over the next couple weeks. And then, Mark, I was in San Diego around New Year's Eve when you got all that rain. I don't know what it is. Anytime I'm in San Diego, it always seems to rain. Anyway, take care, boys.
All right, thanks. Do you have snow on the ground now, Mike?
No, we do not.
Okay.
I mean, we have some leftover snow from a few weeks ago because it hasn't got above, freezing, but we have no fresh snow and most are just little patches. And the weird thing is we were supposed to get some this coming week. At first they were saying like 5-6 inches one day, and now it's been downgraded to like half an inch.
That is weird.
So, yeah, we are not going to get a lot of snow this. And, that's terrible. And that's good also. Sure. I mean, there's more chance that I'll get to drive to a casino if the roads are clear.
Exactly. Yeah, we need a report from you.
There's less chance I'm going to get a snow day at school.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's the downside. Yep.
That's the downside.
God, it's too bad it couldn't work together, right? When you have a snow day, that's when you want to go to the casino.
Right, exactly.
Oh, nature. All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. We want to thank some people for some recurring donations. Jeremy at the Color Up YouTube channel, James, and Kurt. Thank you very much for those recurring donations. As Kelly mentioned, she sent us a donation 15 years ago on New Year's Eve. Kevin and I met each other at a roulette table. Please accept this $15 karma donation to mark the occasion. Thanks, Kelly in Utah. Well, thanks, Kelly, and congratulations. We also got a donation from our friend Todd Goddess, who's got a craps table in his window. Thanks for another great year of shows. Well, thank you, Todd.
Yeah, we're having a new craps meetup, too, coming up here the weekend before the Super Bowl.
Oh, excellent. Oh, that's a good time to do it. Great.
Yep, someone drive up there for that.
And finally, a donation from listener Daniel. Karma donation for my first Vegas trip, January 12th through the 14th. Enjoy the show a lot. Thanks, guys. Oh, well, fantastic. Have a great time, Daniel. First trip to Las Vegas. Just have a blast and good luck.
Yeah. Give us a call after you've gone.
Yeah.
And your lead story should be the craziest thing you saw. Okay. On your first trip, you really got to find, the craziest thing you saw.
All right. Looking forward to it. Hey, at the top of our webpage, you'll find a link to our store where you can buy You Can Bet On That t-shirts. Also, you can find a list of all the gambling-related shows coming up on American television at youcanbetonThat.com/TV-listings, and those should all be up to date now at this point. And we've got a list of gambling-related movies at youcanbetonThat.com/movies. We'd love to hear from you. Call our voicemail hotline at 951-292-4377. That's 9512-WAGERS.
9512-WAGERS.
Or you can email us at youcanbetonThat@gmail.com. We're also on Twitter at You Can Bet On That and on Facebook at facebook.com/YouCanBetOnThat. Happy New Year, Mike. What you got for us?
Well, Mark, I hope everybody has a wonderful new year.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, be happy, be kind, and press that on, move it on to other people. Because the more you press, the more you're going to win.
Oh, great. Oh, nice gambling reference. I like how you slipped that in.
Yep. I thought I'd get that in there. So, the more you press, the more you win. There's no reason to spread the joy.
There's no reason to not spread the joy.
There's no reason to not spread the joy. Is that a double negative?
No.
There's no reason to spread the joy if you can't go to the casino. Yeah. Enjoy the bowl games, too, which are almost over. There's one left, right?
Enjoy the championship football game.
I think it's going to be a really good game. And me personally, I'm rooting for Washington.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a really good game.
Are you putting your money on Washington?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wanted to know so they can fade your bet.
Right. So they can bet on Michigan.
Yeah. All right.
Yep.
Thanks for listening.
Good night.
Did you guys see me? I was on fire tonight. Man, I can't wait to get back to the shore. God, I love gambling!